Hey everybody, how you doing? Thanks for joining. We got some people coming in here. Welcome to Answers with Joe, the live stream. Hopefully you can hear me. I always have little technical issues at the beginning. Just part of the charm of the show. So today we are going to be talking about Elon Musk again, and his announcement recently that he is launching a new company called Neuralink, and their product Neuralace that is supposed to let you actually interact, talk anyway, with computers through your own brain. Pretty cool stuff, pretty interesting stuff, pretty scary stuff, but we're going to be talking about it today. So, everybody can hear me? Good, great. I don't know how to handle it if I launch a live cast without it screwing up a little bit at the beginning. So just really quickly, if you are watching this after the fact, if you're new to this show, this is a live stream. This is not my general, usual type of content that I do. I would highly suggest, if you are interested in this type of content, you can check out some of my other videos on the channel and hopefully subscribe. My stuff is usually a little bit more research than this, a little bit more produced. The live streams are usually a little bit rough, but my fans like it, right guys? Okay, cool. So, all right, let's launch into this. Elon Musk. So by the way, there are a couple of links in the description of this that I'm going to be referring to that I highly suggest you guys go check out because it puts a lot more context into this. And I'm pulling a lot of stuff from it so you can kind of see the source from where I got all this. So Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, Hyperloop, now he's digging tunnels, and then he announces he's going to do this thing called Neuralink. And for those of you out there who are tired of me talking about Elon Musk, I will gladly talk about something else. It's just he tends to always be in the news for having these really interesting projects that he's working on. Can't not talk about it. So what is Neuralink? His basic concept is this. As artificial intelligence begins to become more prevalent and advanced and starts to, take things over a little bit, if we don't have the ability to merge with that technology, we're going to get left behind as a species. So his idea is, and it's not just his idea, there are many people, but he's the money guy, so he's able to kind of fund these things. But his idea is to find a way for us to interact a lot more easily with technology than we do right now. Sort of part of that concept is also the fact that we have, it's sort of an in-out thing, input-output kind of situation. So we have these senses and we have this processing ability to be able to take in information really well, but it's only we are very stymied by our output. The input's good, the output is bad. That's kind of where they're coming from here. So right now there's a story to be told, a point to be made that we are already integrating with technology. Try leaving the house without your phone and see how long you get before you panic, right? So we are interacting with each other through our phones. We're accessing all the wealth of knowledge throughout all of human history through our phones, these things we can put in our pockets. It's an amazing technology, but our output is only with our little thumbs, just being able to thumb stuff. This is not very efficient. So the idea of Neuralink is you'll be able to actually interface with your brain, with a computer, and as the computers begin to get more advanced and the AI starts to take over, especially super advanced, super intelligence, then we'll be able to merge with that and we'll be able to basically continue to compete as a species and not completely fall behind. So one of the big questions that they ask is, so this is going to require some kind of surgery, like how do you get a chip into somebody's brain? He makes the point that you actually don't need to do that. You would just need to implant through the veins. Like you actually go through the vessels into the brain and you can implant stuff there. Still sounds pretty, I don't know. You're still putting a wire through a blood vein and going up through the, up, and it still seems like a pretty intense kind of thing to go through. But I guess that's better than getting part of your skull sawed off, I've heard. Anyway, so let me see. I got some notes up here, so I'll be referring to notes. I want to make sure and get all this. There are already some technologies that have been going on. A lot of hackers, and I'm going to show a video from a guy that is one of the links down in the description below. I'm going to link to a couple of videos here in a second that shows this, but there are alredo technologies that some hackers are starting to develop that are allowing us to interact just with a brain interface. Stuff like this is actually like what do they call it? Biofeedback. Has been going on for a while, but now we're actually able to control things with it. There's a drone you can control with your mind. That's a real thing. You can, and it's in that link that's in the description. You can put this hat on, and it reads your brain waves, and you can literally have a little drone, and you can just fly it around and control it with your mind. There are some games, some like Pong type games, old school Pong games that you can now control with your mind. So we're kind of going down that path already. This just takes it to another level. So some of the early applications that Elon's talking about are medical, most biological anyway. Most technologies start in the efforts to cure or be able to deal with some kind of disease. It's only once we perfected that we start to kind of enhance our own abilities through this stuff. So it's going to probably start with things like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and trying to fix issues like that. Later, we'll start getting into the more advanced controlling each other things. But I think I'm going to try. Let me see if I can pull this off. Still kind of new to all this, but I'm going to show this clip. There's this guy. His name's Gary Bright. He has a channel called The Tomorrow Show. And again, this is one of the links down below. This is a small clip out of like a 10-minute video where he talks about all this. There's a lot of interesting stuff in here. But this little part right here, what he's going to show you is he was able to rig his arm through a series of dots of points in his neural system, whatever. My words aren't always there, people. But anyway, he's able to rig his arm to play a piano. So he's able to hook his arm up to a computer that uses his hand to play a piano. So let me pull that up for you and show you. Here you go.
What if you could harness a very focused movement where I just take control of one part of your body?
And check this. There's middle finger, ring finger. Whoa. Oh, yeah. For reference, pinky, middle finger. Still looking for index finger. It's here somewhere. Come on, index finger. Found it. So that is playing Roxanne. I'm now going to play Mary Had a Little Lamb. Check this.
Are you controlling?
It works.
So what is happening there is I created an artificially intelligent device that took control of my body, and it knows how to play the piano. I don't know how to play the piano.
That's amazing to me. He literally is able to get a computer to play the piano through his arm without him actually doing anything. Now they also in that same clip, he talks about a little device that he rigged up where he was able to actually like get like a 3D cast like you would get if you broke your arm, and he hooks it up to a phone actually, and he was able to take this cast and just apply it to his arm and just play the piano with that. Just amazing stuff. One of the things that he pointed out in the video is he was talking about, so you know the scene in The Matrix where Trinity, she gets on a helicopter, she doesn't know how to fly a helicopter, so she just downloads how to fly a helicopter. She downloads that skill and then flies away. He makes the point that this would be like that, except instead of actually having to download this information, somebody else could literally be controlling your body with this kind of neural lace networks set up. So somebody else could literally kind of take over your body and do what you needed to do. So like, I mean, you know, imagine you're in an airplane and the pilots all get gassed or something and there's nobody to fly the plane and you have to step up there and do it. Then, you know, the ground control people could literally hack into your brain, or not hack into your brain, but could access your brain and use you to control the airplane. So I'm not saying that happens very often. But that's just, I mean, it's just an example of how something like this could work. So Elon actually also released a video that shows how this could work with the whole hacking somebody else's brain thing. I wanted to show you this video real quick. That's a joke, of course. So I'm already seeing some things in the comments where people are talking about the danger of this getting hacked. And I got to be honest, I'm kind of with you on this. I'm generally one of these people. This actually brings up an interesting debate I was having with somebody the other day, that every significant leap in technology is going to open up opportunities for abuse and for hacking and that kind of thing. And we have to always weigh, should we push ahead with technology or kind of be afraid that this hacking thing is going to happen? I'm hearing this a lot with autonomous cars, actually. I am of the belief that autonomous cars are going to be happening in the next 10 years. I think in 10 years, there's probably going to be more autonomous cars on the road than self-driven or personally driven cars, manually driven cars, whatever you want to call it. But a lot of people say, but somebody could hack into that. Now, in the case of autonomous cars, here's the argument that I make. I'm going a little bit off topic, but not really. We can look at the numbers of people who die in car accidents every year, and we can project out and know for fairly certain that there's a certain 100,000 numbers of people that are going to die in traffic accidents because of driver error, human driver error, that would be prevented by autonomous driving. Now, could something terrible happen? Could some awful person hack into people's cars and cause something terrible to happen? Yeah, that could happen. That's a possibility. But we know for certain hundreds of thousands of people are going to die if this doesn't take over. So that's my argument for why I think autonomous cars should be considered and should be allowed to happen. The Neuralink thing, though, it's different, because that's your body. That's like in your brain, in your body. If somebody were to it's kind of like the last bastion of individuality, of self. I'm looking for the right word here, but it's the last frontier. If you don't have your body, you don't have anything. And if somebody could come in and take over your body, I will be right there along with somebody else saying I'm a little bit wary of that. I'll be honest. But I also understand the argument there that when machines become more intelligent than we are, if we don't find a way to merge with that technology, we are going to be left behind. It's just that simple. So there's arguments for both sides. This is an interesting, that's why I wanted to do a video about this. It's a very interesting topic. It's very interesting technology. And it's the kind of stuff that it's coming up in the future. And if we don't get a handle on it, it's going to get a handle on us, if you know what I'm saying. So this also kind of gets me started thinking about, we talk a lot about consciousness, and we talk a lot about how we could possibly transfer consciousness from one person to another, from one person into a machine, that kind of thing. And one of the best examples of this that I've heard so far is this idea that you can, I think Kurzweil actually came up with this idea that you can replace the neurons in your brain with tiny sort of, I don't want to say metal, but with synthetic neurons, and basically over time slowly replace your brain with artificial neurons. And maybe I say metallic because it would be considered more like a computer, sort of like a computer chip kind of thing, but or a computer interface. So you could replace your brain with this computer in your own head. And in that way, maybe after your body expires, that central processing unit of your brain is not still this mushy thing that would decompose. It's something that could be, put into a computer somewhere, or put into a robot, or put into some kind of, clone of yourself even. These are crazy things in the future. My only issue with the sort of metallic computer brain thing is I wonder, and I don't know, this is a topic for debate, but I wonder how that ties into like neuroplasticity, what we are able to do as human beings to learn, to grow, to change, to warp these neurons in our brains to become something else. Does that take away who we are? Does that take away our ability to grow? to learn, to feel. I don't know. Those are interesting topics. So what else we got here? Yeah, I think that was into my my outline there. So I'm seeing lots of comments coming through. I haven't had a chance to look at them because I've been rambling about this, but I want to hear what you guys think, and I'll be looking at the comments now. I know there's a lot of them that I missed. So if you wanted me to see something, now would be the time to put it up there because I didn't get a chance to see it earlier. But interesting topic, interesting discussion, interesting stuff happening in the near future. What do you guys think? Would you do it? Do you think it's not worth it because of the risks involved? Do you think this is just an inevitable thing that we're just going to have to get used to? Let me know. Let's see. I'm going to get a drink of water because I just talked a lot. This is a little shout out to Dickies. S. Bulletproof. Do you think technological singularities might explain the Fermi paradox? Back to the Fermi paradox. Wow, we haven't talked about that in a while. I think there's a lot of things that explain the Fermi paradox in different ways. The Fermi paradox itself basically saying, why haven't we seen any solid proof of alien civilizations? My gut feeling on the Fermi paradox is just that the universe is so friggin' big, and we're so far away from everything else that there's just a space issue. And any signals that might be coming from an alien civilization would probably be so weak by the time they got to us that we couldn't read it. Plus, it might be in some kind of format that we don't understand and all that kind of stuff. But that's my gut feeling on that. But I guess what you're getting to there is it possible that any advanced civilization will get to the point where a singularity would happen and then they would become either replaced by that artificial intelligence or wiped out by it? And I think that's definitely possible. I've thought many times that if an alien civilization were to visit Earth, look, I'm a screenwriter, I'm a storyteller, so I'm always thinking about how to take a story idea that maybe we've seen 100 times and change it up a little bit. So I would love to see an alien invasion story where the aliens turn out to not be biological at all. It's just machines that have come for whatever reason, not necessarily to wipe us out, but the idea being that any civilization that was able to cross the vast expanses of space would probably not be biological. It would probably be like we got Voyager right now is outside of our solar system. Very advanced versions of that, I guess is where I'm going. Like, Hellish Gnar said, "When everybody's got my name in like orange letters." Is this a thing today? Nobody's ever done that before, and now everybody's doing it. Hellish Gnar, wouldn't this enable undetectable slave labor? Yeah, I mean, I guess that would make it possible. I could see there's a lot of legal stuff that would go down with all this. I mean, especially, we're living in a time right now where we have, this is getting a little political, but, privatized prisons where, people are being used to do labor without, I mean, you could call it a slave labor situation, but I could definitely see, this sounds like a sci-fi movie. It sounds like Demolition Man or something, but like in the future where people were forced to work and didn't have a choice because they had some kind of machine controlling them. At the same time, I'm just going to put this out there. It's cold-blooded, and I'm not saying I'm for it, but I can imagine all kinds of productivity would go up and efficiencies would go up if every single worker in a building or at a plant or whatever was working at the same tempo and at the same speed. I mean, if you think about it, if you had a job like that, because people already have jobs like that, very repetitive manual labor type jobs where you're just doing the same thing over and over again, working on a line. I'm not saying this would be fun. I'm just saying like somebody else could just kind of like be doing the work for you, and yeah, your muscles are doing it, but you're just kind of like off in la la land, and you're thinking about whatever you're, constructing emails to your family or whatever in your head while your body's doing the work, which is kind of what people wind up doing anyway because it becomes so repetitive. I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying it's an interesting thought. All right, what else we got here? A Normal Gamer says, bro, you're amazing. Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'll call it out when somebody says something nice to me. So let's see. What else we got? Why is this related to Elon Musk? I just arrived, says the Neoxos. Because Elon Musk has created the Neuralink company, or he's funding it anyway. By the way, so I did a video on Monday about computers, and I've been getting a lot of questions about very technical computer stuff. And I'm just going to put this out there right now to all of you. I'm not a computer expert. I just was talking about some stuff that's coming along that sounds interesting. I'm seeing some of this here. I'm not a computer expert. I just want to make that clear. Let's see. I'm being told I need to be more interactive with my stream as I'm reading my comments. Not sure how that works. Spaceman Bremen says, do you think that a neural network would destroy any shred of privacy we have? I think it could. Yeah. Any fans of Black Mirror out there? They talk about, or they show the negative side of that very much in that show. There's an episode that I'm thinking of specifically where you can record. I want to say you record with your eyeballs, but your eyes are used as a camera to store memories that you can then access later and like project on a screen and stuff like that. And people start manipulating other people's memories, and it's pretty crazy. If you're not a fan of Black Mirror, you should be. It's a fantastic series. Matt Herring, our good friend Matt Herring, Mr. Tron Man, any thoughts on the SpaceX space tourism project? So I was actually just reading about Blue Origin's space tourism project. That's Jeff Bezos from Amazon. That's his company. They are basically, they seem to be wanting to get into it a little bit more than SpaceX is. In fact, they may actually beat SpaceX to the punch on that one. But from what I was reading anyway. But their gig is they're not going into orbital flight. They're just going up and down, which I'm actually, got to be honest, I'm amazed that hasn't happened yet. Because Virgin Galactic was going to be a thing, and then they had an accident, and that was tragic. We lost, I think, was it Doug Rutan on that one? It was bad. It was not good. But that kind of got waylaid. But that was going on like 10 years ago. I'm really amazed we haven't gotten there yet. But that's what Blue Origin wants to do. They're just doing little suborbital flights, like a 45-minute round trip. You go up, you float, you look at the Earth, and then you come back down. What Elon Musk wants to do, because he's got to go big, he actually, and apparently they've already sold tickets for this, and they were in the, $500,000? No. I think they were like $3 to $5 million is what they paid. But some rich dudes paid to actually go around the moon. I think that's what Matt's talking about. That it's all fly by wire. They're not actually pilots or anything. They're just going to sit in the capsule while it flies them around the moon, and then they fly back. Ironically, NASA's looking at doing something similar. I think for some kind of anniversary of the moon landing. So that would be 69 was when we landed on the moon. That would probably be in 2019, in a couple of years. So anyway, now there's a space race between Blue Origin, NASA, and SpaceX. And not to even get started on the Chinese. And I think India's getting into it as well. Will Professor Alvarez Nieto, will SpaceX overbook their flights? I would hope that they kick somebody off and bloody their face before they take off and not wait until they're, out of the atmosphere. That would be rough. That'd be very rough. Is it still slavery if the computer makes you enjoy it? Asks good Lord. Aurora. Totally screwed that up. Is it still slavery if the computer makes you enjoy it? If it's against your will, whether you enjoy it or not, I suppose that's slavery. If it's against your will and you have no way out of it, especially. I'm starting to think like very Marxist, anti-capitalist thoughts here when you start talking about like people kind of being lulled into a sheep-like existence and just being told that they're enjoying it even as they're being taken advantage of. I went to a weird place there. Okay. Let's see, what else we got here? United Airlines will throw you out of the airlock. They would. Jeff Bezos and Musk should team up. You know, I heard that Jeff Bezos is actually the second richest man in the world. I mean, I knew he was super rich. I didn't know he was that rich. So apparently it's Warren Buffett and then Jeff Bezos. That's amazing. But the computer might make you think that you want it. Well, I imagine if you have access to somebody's brain, then you have access to the limbic system that controls the hormones that would make you, like oxytocin and serotonin, that would make you enjoy it. So it's a good point. The best type of slavery is the one where people don't know that they're slaves. There you go. Selby Clements, if you were backed up via neural lace, as in the culture novels, would you care if the version you were in died? If you were back... Oh, okay. I think I see where you're going. So if you had a backup in a computer somewhere and then your physical body died, would you care? Is that kind of what you're saying? I think I would care, because if my experience of consciousness was not transferred over to that, if I was still experiencing this consciousness and there was another copy out there somewhere that was able to like take over after this consciousness went away, well, this consciousness still went away. So I would still, it's kind of back to that teleportation video that I did, where I was talking about, you know, another version of you would appear on whatever planet that you're going to or whatever, but the one you're in would actually just go away. So I've never been able to watch Star Trek the same way since I started looking at that. The idea that every time you transport, you just die. Okay. What else? Oh, Matt just talked about the teleportation video. There you go. What is your purpose in your life? Oliver, what was your name? Oliver Tamandi? What is your purpose in your life? Is that for me to answer? Is that for everybody to answer? And Richard thinks he may be a slave to cheeseburgers. Damn it, that sounds good. I wasn't craving a cheeseburger till you just said that. Illmatic699. First time I watched the stream and slavery is being discussed. Well, it's not a typical subject for this. But let's see. Blockchain for the neural lace. I'm not familiar with blockchain. Somebody brought that up as a video topic. I need to look into it because I'm not sure what it is. Green Shorts, my boy Tom Mills, is the Neuralink connected to the idea of the singularity? Well, I mean, sort of. I'm interpreting here, but I think if you buy into the concept that AI, super intelligent AI, is going to happen, that's kind of part of the singularity, as I understand it. And if that were to happen and we weren't merged with it in some way, which is Elon Musk's his interpretation of this, then we're going to get left behind. So it gets, it's sort of ancillary to it, but maybe. Do I want to go to space? I gotta be honest, man. So like, as I was reading that thing about Blue Origin earlier, I was kind of like, I could do that. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the first to do it, but as the technology becomes more predictable, stable, yeah, I think I could. I think I could do that. That'd be a lot of fun. I've always wanted to go on the Vomit Comet. So this is kind of like an extreme version of the Vomit Comet. It literally just goes up and you're like above the atmosphere for a little while. You're looking at the curvature of Earth. You're looking down and eventually you go down. So you're just like up there for 20 minutes or something like that. But it's 20 minutes of weightlessness. I would love that. Yeah, I'd love that. I'll just say it. Greeting from Germany, Dr. Bob. Thanks for joining. Must be late there. Let's see what else we got. Yeah. If I were to win the lottery or a beneficiary to a huge sum of money, i.e. Elon Musk money, what would you throw your money at? Asks Glenn Williams. I think the biggest challenge of our time, and I got to be honest, I think I'm going to be talking about this on the channel more often. I wasn't going to like make this announcement or anything, but it's something I've been thinking about a lot more lately. Is, we talk about AI, we talk about singularity, we talk about all this stuff. a lot of that stuff is kind of big and imposing and sometimes apocalyptic and sometimes utopian. But what worries me the most is it's just going to be a massive change. And I say going to be, I think we're going through it right now. I think this, I would argue that the singularity in the big picture of things is already happening and has been happening for the last 100 years. We're just in the early stages of it. That, the singularity might be a 300 or 5. I mean, we're talking big picture in the history of our species over 10,000 years, something like that. This might be the 300-year process of becoming, frankly, a new species or a whole different civilization. And there's a lot of growing pains that are going to happen. We're already starting to see some of it. I'm just going to tease this a little bit. There was an article that I read. It was from the UK, but I think this is pretty applicable all over. It said that in the next, I want to say it was in the next 10 years, 30% of jobs are going to become automated and are going to go away. That is a huge chunk of jobs. So there's going to be a lot of fundamental changes we're going to have to make as a society, and it's going to have to be worldwide, which is going to be difficult because we are a tribal species trying to become global. I heard that somewhere recently, and I wish I could remember where it was. I'd give them credit. But anyway, to answer your question, where would I put my money? It would be toward that. It would be toward not necessarily the technologies themselves, but and I don't know what this looks like. Luckily, I don't have that kind of money, so I don't have to worry about it. But I'm not worried about the technology itself. I'm worried about the reaction we're going to have as a species to the technology and to the changes that are coming. They scare me a little bit, and I think it's something we need to be prepared for. And it's going to be happening faster than we think. So whatever that looks like, I would put my money toward that. What else we got? So we've been going for about 35 minutes. I'm going to take a few more questions, and I'm going to shut this down. And so we can all get on with our lives. I want to thank you guys for joining. We had like 150 people for a while there. Now we're at about 140. That's awesome. I think that might be the most that's ever joined me on a live stream. I'm glad to have you guys here. Thanks. Can you make more videos on efficient electric storage, says Mr. Simple Gaming. Actually, I think that could be possible. That could be possible because I talked about graphene as a computer chip possibility. But there's also a lot going on with battery storage there. And they're called supercapacitors. It's not even a battery. It's called a supercapacitor. And it would allow for, like, your phone could charge completely in, like, 5 seconds. And you could charge the battery. Like, it actually, Matt, I think, was talking a lot about this, and he knows a lot more about it than I do. But it would allow for super fast charging and super dense energy storage. But even without that, we're seeing a massive increase in battery storage technology that's really changing a lot of things. So I think it's an interesting thing to talk about, and it's worth discussing. Yeah. Matt Quinones, how tall are you? Not that tall. I'm like 5'9". Let's see. First you learn to read, then you read to learn. This has been asked several times by Gaurav Menwani. My thoughts. First you learn to read, then you read to learn. Yeah? Okay. I don't know what to add to that. I guess I agree with that. Hey, Bulletproof. S Bulletproof, sorry. Got to get the S in there. Do you think this technology will eventually change our definition of what is good and evil? With a super chat, and I want to thank you for that. Thank you, man. Do I think this technology will eventually change our definition of good and evil? I don't know. I guess you're talking about the Neuralink technology. I'm not sure what that has to do with good and evil, to be honest with you. I think, when we're talking about the whole hacking thing, I guess you could hop into anybody's brain and implant whatever version of good and evil you want them to think. Should it get sufficiently advanced to be able to do that? I think more fundamental than that, it might bring up questions of free will, which we're already which are already interesting questions just with our minds the way they are right now. A lot of the cognitive studies that we've been seeing actually show that there are modules in our brain that make decisions for us that we don't really have control over, that a lot of what we think we decide are actually justifications that an interpreter module comes up with to justify what these other modules have done subconsciously. So there's an argument to be made, and is being made by some, that we don't have free will now. But especially if you combine that with some external technology that could control your body and your thoughts, then I guess you would see people doing things that they don't know that they're doing, and I don't know how that translates to good or evil, but I think definitely it could be a fly in the Vaseline of free will. I'll just put it that way. All right, one more question, and then I'm gonna bump out of here. Let's see what we got. Thanks again, everybody, for joining. This is really awesome. Got a good conversation going on over here. Okay, so Richard, I have not looked at this. What are the odds that the emergence of intelligent life and the transition from biological to machine intelligence is a narrow period in the evolution of any civilization? Of any sufficiently advanced civilization? Yeah, I mean, we kind of spoke about that earlier when I was talking about the Fermi paradox. I think any alien species that visited Earth would probably be a machine species or a different mechanized version of a biological species. The good life once more on transhumanism. I could see that. Holy Lord. Drudley just gave me, wait, what is that? SEK? $50 in SEK money, whatever that is. Okay, so I sent a question much longer than this chat allows on your channel. Answer pretty please. Well, where is it? Where would I find this question? Drudley. And thank you. Everybody thank Drudley for whatever denomination of money that is. I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't answer the question. I don't know what it was. If you can send it to me somewhere else. Maybe in the comments of this video or something. Sorry, I didn't see it. Yeah, Dreadly, repeat your question. That's $5. Fair enough. Oh, it's Sweden. Oh, hello, Sweden. Sweden isn't poor. It's just a monetary thing. Whatever. I'll take it. Thank you for that. Dreadly on your channel. Oh, okay. You left it on my channel. I'll take a look then. Okay. Thank you for that. So, okay. This would be a good time for me to go ahead and close this thing out. What can I say is coming up? I got something coming up on Monday. I actually haven't recorded it yet, so we'll see. But anyway, thank you guys for joining. And I'm going to just cut this out. Thank you. And I would love for people to continue this conversation in the comments, because I do think there's a lot to talk about here. And I look forward to reading that later and seeing what you guys have to say. But anyway, thanks again for joining. I am going to leave. I hope you guys have a great weekend coming up. And I will see you soon. Love you guys. Take care.